Okay, let's do the usual song and dance. Pull up the old dashboard. Wait for Twitch to think I'm streaming. Maybe, yeah. It looks like Twitch thinks this is working. Okay, cool. Okay, there's nobody here. That's okay. Let me real quick. I think I am, since the daycare has been working out pretty well, I think I might actually change my schedule to include Wednesday as well. So let me see if I can do that real quick. I think I am, since the daycare has been working out pretty well, I think I might actually change my schedule to include Wednesday as well. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Submit. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks all right. Cool. Hey, test the coil. Let me go back to my dashboard. Nice. Okay. All right. I think everything should be. Oh, socials. Let me tweet. Okay, that's done. Let me post. All right. So that's the shameless self-promotion out of the way. All right, and let's get going. Actually, cheat sheet just to make sure. Okay. Sorry, I have a little gist with my just like a little outline of how my stream works. Even though I think I've been doing it for I have 40 some odd episodes up, or not episodes, but 40 some odd streams out. I think I'd remember it, but just to be sure. So hey, hi, I'm Joshua. Today is February 1st, 2017. Where did January go? It's gone. I seem to have misplaced my January. But it's February, and we are still pushing forward here, working on Delver, which you can see behind me. The website is delvergame.com. This is my current project. It is a passion project. It is something that I am very proud of and I work very hard on. Delver is it's a two-man effort, two-person effort. We work on this in our free time. So we have no time or no budget, but we still somehow make it work. We're trying to make the best game that we can. And I am still working on getting this localization support finished. So let me go ahead and pull up that checklist. We'll work on that a little bit for maybe the first hour or so, and then I'll go back to more example mod content. Hey, the Labolial. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so let me pull up my tracking issue just to make sure I know where I'm at. All right, so let's take a look at that. So these are the tasks that I've assigned to myself. Basically, it's just a big old list of things in the engine that I need to kind of audit and make sure that any hard-coded strings get pushed into a string resource. And while it's not super sexy, that's what we're going to be working on. But I guess I should also mention I was working in a separate branch, but I've also merged the main branch back into it to help prevent merge conflicts when I finally merge my branch into the main branch. So there should be some new stuff in here that you haven't seen before. The thing I'm most excited about is we are changing how creating new levels in Delver works, and I'm very excited about this. It should be really, really cool. It should allow folks to do interesting stuff, and it should all integrate and play nice with each other. I'll touch more on that in a bit. We're going to close that. Let me fire up Delver and play a little bit for folks who aren't familiar with what Delver is. Yep, so this is the start of Delver. This is a fresh start. So you start here. This is the starting area. It serves as a little hub. There's a shop. These folks are shopkeepers. Storyteller over here. You can buy gear. You earn gold for when you die. Your gold persists. So we still need to fix that. We need to fix that bug because you should be able just to stack when buying from a shop. But yeah, your gold persists between life. So we're trying to figure out a way to make there's a little bit more like connection between playthroughs. Oh, and look at this. Oh goodness, let me quit. So that is the new mod stuff actually is taking effect. Let me go ahead and clear out my my mod directory. I guess that is a good side effect. Is it's really easy now to throw new levels into Delver that it kind of worked without me intending it to. Let's try this again. So I might need to actually let me just real quick yeah, this shouldn't. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I want to develop. Let me flip over to features languages support new. This should be the branch I'm working out of. Let me sync it. Sorry for being on the wrong branch there. So behind me to the left is my second desk, which is a Mac OS machine, and I bounce back and forth between developing on either. So sometimes I forget to make sure that I've got latest. Usually I am quickly reminded that I haven't got latest. All right, and Gradle is doing a build. And she launches, perfect. There we go. Okay. Cannot find any file of mods. Dungeons.dat. Yeah, that's old. We shouldn't need that anymore. Okay, let me. So we did a clean build. Now let's try this. No, DMX, I'm just getting started. Unfortunately, part of me getting started is, again, cleaning up my dev environment. Some big changes have gone down since the last time I streamed, so I'm just kind of working through. Oh, I think I know what's going on. If it crashes again, I know exactly what's going on. Yep. It is my environment configuration. I have the incorrect working directory. Okay, let's try that. There we go. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna play a little bit of Delver, talk through it. So yeah, this is the starting area. This is the dungeon entrance. This is the first dungeon area. It's basically the first dungeon area is kind of intended to be exactly what you expect it. Wow, these are really bad. What you expect it to be. It's a very it relies on the fantasy tropes. And you're gonna fight in a familiar environment and against a familiar cast of characters, which is kind of okay. And I think with a lot of these with these elements, we're kind of embracing the genre tropes. Let's do speed. I think this helps Delver be pretty easily recognizable in that regard. traps. Oh my goodness. Okay. Stuck. So with these, you can bash them down. I noticed with new players, they seem to, when it says stuck, they seem to turn around. But we do have a separate prompt for locked versus stuck. Crap. Yeah, that guy's dead. But it doesn't always seem to register with new folks. Again, I'm not sure, like, if we should, like, I'm not sure if we should put you in a situation where you have to bash the door down just to understand you can do that, or just one of those things that over time people do figure it out. There we go. Ooh, that's a good buckler. Okay. Oh man, water room. Yeesh.
You're dead.
I try to maximize the splash damage on the fire wands. Oh man, lots of folks. Blast my way through. What was a bat back there? All right, and that is the first level of Delver. I'll go ahead and get to work now, but I just wanted to, again, I like to just kind of start the stream showing what the game actually is so folks have context. Godokroon says, maybe have some cracked props to indicate that they can be broken and let the player experiment with bashing down the doors themselves. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that is what happens is people get stuck and then they'll come back to the door and they will eventually bash it down. Also, potentially, there is a chance they will witness an enemy bashing down a door, and that also could help teach that as well. Actually, all these rooms have been in. These rooms haven't changed in like a year. There's just a lot of dungeon rooms, and you get a lot of variety. Some rooms we designate as unique, so you'll only ever see them once, if at all. But yeah, so unfortunately the dungeon hasn't got a lot of love, so that's kind of after this. So the current update, we're working on better mod support. Part of the better mod support is this language stuff I'm working on now, and we're trying to do some quality of life improvements for modders. So I'll do some language work for the first hour or so, and then I think after that I will work on some more example mod stuff. And so the sci-fi one is eating up a lot of time, so I think I'm going to just really quickly put out a very basic dungeon example room that people can use as a template. So let's get going. Of course, I closed out my list. So when I'm working on something this, generally, when I create issues for myself, I kind of know what it entails, but because this involves a lot of changes, I have to kind of come at it in a systematic way. So let me close all. I want to, let me see, I want to go to item.java, and I want to go to strings.dat. Okay, and then this needs to go ahead and split this. So On the right here is a big old JSON uh, file that defines all of the text for the game. So what I've been doing is I've been going through and auditing um, auditing the classes whenever there is a string. So like this previously was something like broken, uh, worn, etc. But what I'm doing is I'm going through, and wherever we have these hard-coded strings, I'm putting this this looks up based on this key. So this entities.item condition broken will look into this JSON object and pull back a string. So it looks like I've started on this file. So let me just kind of let me do a regex search. So we should do Control F and then do open quote dot star close quote, and just kind of look at these and see that's fine. Editor properties are fine. Sprite Alice is fine. That's a key for lookup. Those are fine. Yep, this was the toughie where we combine we kind of programmatically combine what's the word strings to make a name for a thing. So like with RPGs, you have stuff like kings find sword of fire, and we kind of programmatically smash those together. So I'm trying to push it into resource in a reasonable way, and I think I've done it okay. Again, I'll be working with a local game dev here who is a native French speaker to make sure he'll help me go through and make the French version, and that should be a decent like actual test to see if this is ready for other folks to use. DMix says, "Wow, messed up English." Hey, Maker Images, thanks for stopping by. What English is messed up? Because yeah, if I have made a grammatical error, please let me know. Okay, let's just keep looking at the strings in here. I may have actually done all these. Yep, girl. Yeah. I think I've drawn the line where any text that's separated by new lines is okay to just let the new lines be. Okay, so it looks like item is done. So let me check that one off my list, and let's open up, I think item stack is the next one. Oh, and right now item stacks are only arrows. Okay, so let me go over here. Entities, items, item stack. So this should be items, then dot item stack. I'm trying to keep these somewhat logically organized, just to kind of make navigating them a little bit easier. Let me copy this one. Then let me kind of zero this stuff out. So, and then there should be items dot item stack dot default name text, and that should be stack. Oh, okay, DMX, yeah. Sorry, it's one of those things where um, when folks watching the stream, they actually see me make mistakes. They catch my mistakes in different ways than I would. A lot of times, like for some odd reason, I don't catch my mistakes until actually I do a small code review before I commit changes. So it's been very helpful when folks are pointing out like some small errors I made. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, do we actually surface stack type out? Let me search the whole code base for stack type. So here, you check stack type with this name. So I think we do need to localize this, and they need to agree. Okay, this could potentially be bad. Um, so maybe I'll do something like public static enum stack type equals. I think this is how you do it in Java. So arrow. Oh, it's been a while since I've done an enum in Java. Public enum item type. Yeah, I don't think it's static. I think that doesn't make any sense. And then I don't think it's quoted. I think it's just, yeah, there we go. So then I think the arrow should use this, and so string stack, wait, no, public stack type equals stack type dot arrow. This might goof things up though. Blah, 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 blah. String stack type, so this equals sometimes with enum, I don't, maybe does Java have a way to go from a string to an enum? Because typically you have to write that yourself in most languages. Yeah, let's just do that. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Let's say unknown, then public stack type, get stack type, string type. It's R in string, of course. Switch stack type. Yeah. Yep. Case. Arrow or is it stack type dot arrow? Wait, arrow. Yeah. If stack type equals arrow. Because the whole point of this is to not keep this. Don't use this to make decisions that impact the user. Oh, Chad's watching. Hey, Cut again. I'm doing loc work, so this first chunk might be a little dry. Um, okay, cool. There we go. So whenever we want to, so this can still be a string. Is this dangerous situation I'm getting myself into? We'll see. Okay, and then for missile, what we need to say is stack type. Because the issue is we could potentially translate the name of arrow, and previously the stack type was a string, and you could translate that differently, and that could create gameplay issues, and I don't want the loc changes to impact gameplay, if that makes sense. So let me see if it's an instance of an item stack, and this is a stack type dot equals name, but the stack type should be of type stack type, and name is of type string. So we need to do something like item stack dot get stack type for name. Okay, so what that should be comparing enums to enums, and that should be correct. And all these shoulds means I need to start testing. Okay, erase and play. Because that was the logic around combining item stacks. So if I spawn arrows and more arrows, so I pick up this, and I pick up that, they should combine. Okay, cool. So I haven't broken that logic, which is good. Here in Missile 2, let me look at stack type. Is this used anywhere else? Yes. Okay, so this also needs to be item stack dot get stack type of this string. Okay. Okay, cool. So that should be all the instances of stack type being used. So that's cool. So now we've decoupled the name of the thing from the actual understanding of what it is. Because typically, or before, like an arrow and an item stack only worked if they agreed. And now that they share types or enum types, you can call it whatever and it will still work. And this arrow is internal, so I don't need to translate it. But this does this is the name for the stack name, so this needs to be a game.locstrings.get. And I'm planning on cleaning this logic up too. This eventually will be something like string manager.get, and that will be it. I think that would be much cleaner. Actually, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Let me finish up my work on item stack, and then I'll attempt to just do a big refactor, because what could go wrong there. So let me go back to what I was doing. So item stack. Okay, so this is a okay. I need that semicolon there because it is a constructor. So game.lookstrings.get last name. Then this is just the default name for the atom stack. What's it complaining about? Not a statement. Does it need to be name equals? Is that what that is? Because this is the constructor, and name is a property on item, so that should be okay. I just didn't make that up. Okay, cool. I think that's what it was, right? Let me save real quick and just take a look at the diff. And yeah. Yep, I just goofed and deleted that as well, which I should not have. Yeah, refactoring is fun and cool, but also like you have to be careful about it. Like there's always the temptation to rewrite everything. And early on in the project, it's probably okay. Or if it's a hobby project, also probably okay. But we're far enough along that we have to really kind of be tactical or careful about our refactors. Okay. So also here, this is also kind of a localization no-no. This is the programmatically combining text like that. So what we need to do is replace it with something like where it looks like that, and if other languages need to switch the ordering around, or they need to or they use a different character to indicate quantity, then they can do that. Yeah, and Chad brought up a very, very excellent point. You refactor what impedes you and not what offends you. That's very wise. Okay, so let's copy that. Item stack, and this is item stack name text, and this looks something like what I was saying earlier. And this is why I have this comment field on this JSON object. It's not actually used by the game at all. It is like a tool, like a hint for translators, so they can get the correct translation. So this is text shown for stack name. 0 is the name of the stack, and 1 is the count of the stack. Cool. So then what we need to do is we need to pass these as params into message format, and that just works by taking a string and a bunch of params, but we don't want a hard-coded string. We want just to look this up. So get, and then dot localization name, and then cool. And then this get info text. This is interesting because this might is this the same as the name or no? This could potentially be different. But stacks don't get mods. So info text get item text. which is nothing. Unless this overrides get item text. We could debug it to see what it does, actually. Yep, and the Tesla coil brings up a good point too, where it's hard to tell the difference, and that's that's just something you learn with experience. Like I really like this. It's a saying where um, good decisions come from uh, experience, but experience comes from bad decisions. So unfortunately, you have to make bad decisions before you can actually like have the experience and knowledge to make good ones. So unfortunately, some of that is just kind of like 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 you have projects where you refactor, and the project never ships, and you have to kind of be introspective about that. Okay, so this is the same thing here. They would need a message format game look strings. Yeah. Okay. Get my parens correct. And then this needs to be a game.lookstrings.get localize name. And this is, it potentially could be different. So let me just, I'll give it its own text field, even though the translation might be exactly the same. So this is a info text for items, information text. 0 is the item information of the stack. Yeah, no, Tesla Coil, too bad. Like I think we're all learning. Like if you get to a point where you're no longer learning, I think that's a problem. Okay, so I need to give it this key because that's what it's complaining about. Okay, let's not have a space there. I think spaces are fine, but I'm trying to keep these keys for Chad and I's sake. They kind of represent the namespace, where like namespace, class, and roughly the variable this gets assigned to ish. So if we ever need to debug these darn things, they should be easy to track down, like where in code they live. I think that's it. I think that's all of the. Again, let me look for hard-coded strings. I don't think there are very many. They're just the two. Yeah, then there's the. So let me debug and see where these things actually get used, just to make sure. If these are exactly the same thing, then I will just use one string resource. Okay, play. Okay, so if I hit I and then I hover, should hit a breakpoint, which is get name. Okay, so there we go. And then we get info text. So we do both? Is that correct? Behavior. So we have arrow x8, x8. Since you're watching, Chad, should we touch this up a little bit? Like that seems like redundant. I think actually it might have been this way for a while because I haven't changed anything other than just kind of throwing the stuff in a string resource. For the time being, I'll leave it as is. It's not Not ideal, but let me just keep my stuff scoped to loc stuff right now. So I think that's so missile and item stack. I touched missile, so let me just go ahead and just run through that real quick and then call it good. So if I look for hard-coded strings, so no room. I think that's a name. I think that should be the default name. Okay, cool. So it's just the two strings in missile, so that should be pretty quick. So let's do that too. So items dot. So try to keep these roughly alphabetical. Um, kind of. I goofed it up somehow. Okay. So this should be items.missile default name text. Wait, oh no. Okay, now I feel like I'm really goofing up. So I need item here. I'm putting M comes after I, Joshua, so let's do that. Okay. Default name text. Default is, there we go. Save. And this is game.locstrings. I just need it. This is just not great. So I'm gonna next thing is I'll just refactor that to make it easier on me for the rest of my work here and in the future. So this is the default name text. Okay. And then there was the no room, I think. Yeah. This is no room text. No room. Text shown when attempting to pick up an arrow, pick up a missile when the inventory is full. Okay. Okay, so Chad's suggesting, yeah, let's just take a look at this item stack. Maybe we can, since I'm here already, I can just touch it up real quick. So, um, so I think his suggestion is simply um, this should just be arrow, so name text. So so this should actually, that'll make it life easy, right? This would just be return, actually, sure. So if we look at this inherits from item, an item has a get name. What does the get name do here? So the get name actually might return the correct thing. So I think I can just, I might be able to just delete this entirely. Just let that do its thing. And then here, let me see if that does what I think it will do. Play. Arrow X8. How is that looking? So so this has 3 charges. This has X8. So um, I'm just looking at our verbiage in both places and making sure they agree. Because I almost want to say this should say like 8 arrows. Because right here we have 3 charges, and then here we have X8. Um, I'm almost wondering if I should make um, oh, this is more changes, but make this a quiver and then have I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into too many changes. Um, let me try quit, and then so this needs to be I think it's just a single param thing because this infotext is returning null, so it's going to be count, and then for this thing here, item stack.infotext. So I think this name text can be gone because I just deleted that, and then here this just needs to be something like but the problem is this item stack isn't always going to be arrows. I mean, to get back to parity where it was, this would be the simplest thing right here is just X and then the quantity. Because the info text is returning empty, and I don't anticipate it returning anything but, so if we play that. And we hover. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's going to be good enough for now, unless folks have a strong opinion one way or another about it. Okay, so I think that should be okay. Cleaned up the missile code or the item stack code a little bit, which is nice. Let's review our changes before we commit. So in strings.dat, I added a few new fields for item stack default name, for item stack info, and then for item stack, let's make sure those are the 2 ones I'm using. So yeah, we needed this import for message formatting. That's okay. That was auto added by IntelliJ. This is the constructor using the default name text. I added an enum. So this is a little bit more changes too. So I didn't want to compare on something that was potentially translated, so I added the enum so we can do comparisons based on that. And then I think the missile should also reflect that too. No, no, it's checking its name, so there still could be a potential problem there. Let's take a look at missile. I think I'll just add a public stack type stack type equals item. Wait. Are there multiple stack? Why is why it wants to put this resolution operator here? That's fine. Stack type arrow. Yeah. Okay. Should I just import the stack type as well? Import this enum and just clean that up a little bit. I'm actually, am I even using item stack now? Maybe. So my problem with doing it with a string is if people translate the name of the arrow, it breaks, right? Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay, so this can just be. Um, so let me just let's kind of revert some of this code. So for item stack, we just don't surface this. So string stack type is that. So I can simplify a lot of this code here. I just don't need. So let's blow that away and use its string. And then this is just, I think I'm going in a big circle here. Hopefully it makes me smarter. And then this is just stack type. And then it's over here on missile. Let's get rid of those. And then public string stack type equals arrow. And then wherever we do a comparison, we just compare not name, but this dot stack type. It's a simpler solution. But I do need item stack, it looks like. So up here, yeah. There we go. And then down here, this dot stack type, that's good. And then here, this doesn't exist, so this should just be this dot stack type. Stack type. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. No. Yep. Am I using double equals somewhere? I hope I'm not. I think I'm just using the dot equals operator that was already in place. Yeah. I think we're okay. Let me just do a little code review. So using the dot equals operator on here, instead of yeah, so that should be fine. Just replace that. So this is actually making the changes even smaller, which is good. Stack type is now just a string, and the item stack yeah, no, it is kind of like extreme programming where I have like, like a dozen people hovering over my shoulder watching me program, which is handy. Uh, cool. Yeah, that seems to be a better change and a less invasive change, which is always nice. So let me again, look at these. So that's still needed. That's still needed. That's good. That's good. Item stack. All we're doing is just adding the loc string here, adding formatted loc string here. Here we are adding a type. This is something that modders can override, which is cool. So we just do the loc string here. In this equality, we're checking not the name, but the stack type of this, which should work. Before I commit, let's test. Let's do that. Let's always test before we commit. Sorry, I have a little dog sleeping down by my feet. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I've broken anything. Arrow. Okay, so arrow, 4 arrows, 4 arrows. So pick it up. Cool. And then this should get they correctly stack, so I haven't broken that logic. Good. Quit. Okay, let's go ahead and commit our changes. Since we just give it a quick sanity check to make sure that it is working. When I say sanity check, I mean very, very brief testing just to make sure that things run. Like that you could do more vigorous testing, but yeah, I think I'm pretty confident just after a quick sanity check that things should be working fine. Yeah, Laboyo said for a better test I could just change the name, so let's do that. Let's and also this is a fun way to illustrate that our loc stuff is working, right? So if you are a non-English speaker and you know the name for arrow and something else, please let me know. So let me just do a quick translate on that. Cool. Well, I've just picked French, so we'll get the paste. Ooh, and it has an E with an accent. Let's do it. Oh, flecha. Yeah, that's Spanish, right? I should have known that. No, I'm really happy that I have folks who that should get we should be looking at the item name and that should get translated. So that's not working correctly. Let me item stack item dot this is an item display name get display name. Get display name should be getting the loc string. Wow, weird. So this is default name, but what we're doing is we're actually, I think we're creating an instance of it, and down here should be using this. So paste it there. Because I was using existing data. Yeah, there we go. So what happened was when we create an object, it is serialized to JSON, and in JSON for items, the name is in English, and what we're doing is we're taking that English name and then we're looking up the translated equivalent rather than serializing out the translation. That way, potentially, you could have a save file that you play in French. Then you could unsubscribe from the French translation, and everything would pop back in English. Otherwise, it might break if we serialized out um, the data. And yeah, it's not hard coded. I just changed the wrong thing. Um, I changed the default name, and the default name gets overwritten. So it is working as expected. Where you might see the default name is if something goes wrong, and we create a stack without passing in the name. But the arrow stacks are all defined in the items.dat, and they all have names, which is good. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so make sure I haven't no extra changes. Okay, again, more string resource work. And it shouldn't be hard coded to arrow. Sure. Liboyle suggesting just testing stacking just to make sure. Did I already revert that though? Yeah, I already reverted the control Z. So there we go. There we go. Play. Test with fresh data. So K, nope. K ranged. K ranged. And it stacks. Sweet. All right, now that we've done some basic sanity checks, let's commit this. Except for I don't want to commit the French translation. Cool. Commit. Oh, crap. Oh, can I undo? Let's amend that last commit. More string resource work. Commit and sync. I think I need to take a real quick break. Let me do my little splash thing here. I'll be right back. Cool. We'll see you, Chad. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good lunch. All right, time for the big refactor. And let's see. Hopefully I don't break the world. So what I want to do is I want to simplify how we are doing the the translation stuff. So let me look at, so this right here. So loc strings is just a static hash map property when we really want it to be its own thing. So we should have managers that live here. Let's just create a new manager. I think string manager would be a fine thing to have. So new Java class, and it's going to be called string manager. Sure, you can add it to Git for me. Cool. I'm glad this is has been educational. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Java is the best language I'm at, but I know enough to get by. Let's also look at the item manager and see. So let's kind of throw this over here so we can kind of use it to compare. Put it there. There we go. Okay. So string manager. I think these managers have a init method. Init maybe. No. No. I thought these were somehow. Let me look at, because I'm doing something, mod manager. There we go. I'm trying to think. We do. My usages. Yeah, so here's where the mod manager sets the loc strings, and here what I really ought to do is have the loc strings live on the string class, and the string manager can actually instantiate the mod manager if it needs it. Because typically we didn't need the mod manager until you actually launched a game. But now we need the mod manager right at the launch of the application, because the mod manager is what helps us kind of recursively search directories and merge content, and that's the mechanism that we're using to do the translation work as well. So we do need the mod manager right off the bat. So what I can do, let's just kind of create what this ought to look like. So something like this should be string manager. I think it should just be a public static string get. And this should be a string key. And this should just return, for the time being, I think I can just have it return game.locstrings.get key.loc name, right? And then what I can do is I can change all of the instances of this to use the string manager, just to make sure that refactoring that interface goes smoothly, and then I could change under the hood how this works. So let's just go ahead and do a find and replace for this. Let me just, so real quick, this, oh man, this is going to be ugly, but let me I'm just going to copy this out somewhere else so I don't lose it. It's not that big of a, I can recreate the code pretty easy, but yeah, let's just paste it there. And then game.locstrings dot get. So refactor Is there a nice way to do this, or can I just do a edit view? What is it in? Usually there's a find replace, and I'm trying to figure out code. Refactor, rename. No. So find in path. So I haven't done this in IntelliJ yet, so I'm not quite sure where this lives. I would assume it's under edit. Find, replace. But I want to replace globally. That didn't do what I thought. Let me just go to Google and see what Google says. IntelliJ replace all project. Okay, so it should be in this. And I get the Control Shift F. No, Control Shift R. There we go. Replace in path. Replace this with string manager.get. Do it. All files. Oh yeah, we got to resolve. There's going to be lots of missing string managers. That's okay. There'd be a nice way just to resolve all of those, but let's just work our way through it. Okay, entities, door. Yep, manager, string manager. So I've pulled it in. Now why is it still complaining? Oh yeah, because that doesn't exist. So let's just Control Shift R. Look name with nothing. Find all files. Okay. Let me go to string manager. Okay, undo this one file. Let me just paste this back in. I don't want to undo the whole thing, so let's just copy that. Let's paste in this class. There we go. Let me do a clean and a build. Just do a clean and then do a run, just to make sure I haven't goofed up the world. Okay. Run. See what happens. Oh yeah. So it is, yeah, this is what I've expected. I mean, it should be all over the place that I'm missing. It'd be nice just to go through. So we just go here. I'm just going to have to just go to each of these files and hit Alt-Enter to does it take a second to? It should just go boom. Import class. Yeah, that's what it needed. It still has issues. Localized string. Oh, this is just a string now. Yeah. Cool. Game. So I need to fix this. And then I think also here too, I think I was importing localized string and I don't need to anymore. Hello, a literal train. Thanks for joining chat. How are you? I guess I forgot to ask. How is everybody doing today? Um, it is nice. It is a nice sunny Wednesday where I'm at. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Weapon. Class. Save. Triggers. It looks like all of the entities, which is cool. Game, localized string. Oh no. How dot localized name? Yeah. Sometimes the find and replace all is kind of a brute force approach. Cool. I really wish I could just tell IntelliJ to do this for all of the files that have this issue. Again, if there are any IntelliJ experts out there, and this is a thing I can do, please let me know. Because otherwise, this is super menial. Close others. Oh, that's not everything, is it? Is that everything? What? Let me run this thing. Nope, they're still missing. So Little Train says, is there any way I can play the old version of Delver? I love the current builds, but obviously it'd be nice to relive the old days. Yeah, I've ran this by Chad. Steam allows us to have different channels. So right now we have the main channel, and then also if you want, you can opt into the beta channel. So if you go to, oh, I don't even have Steam running. What happened? Steam, maybe. Maybe Steam doesn't want to run anymore. They're doing something in the background. Meh. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then library, Delver, you can right click properties and you can go to betas. And then for this beta you opt into, you can choose the beta branch. And I've ran it by Chad, maybe including the build right before I came on the team. So basically, I am the one who was in charge of replacing all the art. I'm the art guy, and some folks really like the original stuff. Some folks like my stuff. It's all gravy. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool to have just make one of those the old style game. It really has changed quite a bit, and that might we might be able to do that. I don't know. It just depends if I don't know. Like right now, we're focusing on making the game and trying to make it as good as we can and finishing the darn thing. I thought that was yeah. So I thought that was too easy because I've changed more than just a handful of files. I've changed quite a few files. Interesting. Out of curiosity, how many folks watching are students right now? I don't want to move anything, IntelliJ. It's launching, and we have text. That's good. Ooh, ooh, look at that. Look at that Steam pop-up. Interesting. Does it show me? Nice. Look at this. I'm an in-game Delver. So that's really sweet. Our looks like our Steamworks integration is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's cool. That's really cool, actually. All right, let's erase that. Let's start a new game. Yeah, look at all this, all that beautiful text. Okay, let's go ahead and real quick go back to the strings.dat. Let's just go here to arrow and call it let's save and run. No, it's really cool to see students interested in what I do. I definitely like. Hopefully, I'm Fletcher, beautiful. Hopefully, I mean, I like education, and I hopefully I can teach folks something because I do like I do like my thinking is I think it's valuable to learn by people actually doing stuff, almost like an apprenticeship, really. Like university is great. I have a degree in computer science, um, but I mean, it was a lot of theory and it's a lot of math, and I didn't really learn. I mean, a lot of actually how to build software until I was actually in the industry. So I'm hoping I can share some of that with you folks. Of course, we are a small two-man team, so a lot of these practices that Chad and I use are pretty light and abbreviated. Like we don't really have like a big formal code review process. We don't have, you know, like again, it's like how because like Chad is a senior engineer at a company in software company in San Francisco. I am a stay-at-home dad, but I was previously working at Microsoft as a software engineer, so we both know how to build software, which is a useful thing. Okay, so I think that all worked. Let's look at our changes. Right, 25 files changed. Let's just kind of take a peek and make sure that we haven't done anything bad. Okay, again, this is the import. And then just replacing, yep. That looks okay. String manager, that looks okay. Um, okay, guess we don't need that anymore. I deleted that on purpose because actually we do a quick, pardon me, a quick audit for this game.localize string. Actually, let me look specifically for this import because we don't need it if I was using it anywhere else. So let's Control C and then go over here and Control Shift F and Control V and just find everywhere we're using this. We're not. Cool. So I don't have to worry about cleaning that up. All right. So here, just again, it's just reducing just all this like all these properties we had to do to get this right because all we want something lightweight that is easy to type and it's hard to mess up. So this was game.lookstrings.get this.name. Now this is just, yeah, because this was returning the look name, which is a string. Now it's just returning the localized string, which is cool. Yeah, no, theory is good. Like theory is like it allows you to rationalize why one approach is um, either more performant, either from a time or memory standpoint, and you can actually like mathematically describe like the algorithmic complexity, and that is important to be able to talk like that. Um, and then there's also, I think there's also a lot of value of just rolling up your sleeves and getting stuff done. That looks fine. That looks fine. Just doing a quick sanity check just to make sure I haven't goofed things too bad. I mean, the fact that the darn thing ran was a good sign. Um, item stack uses game. We might not need that anymore. No, we do. Okay. Just trying to clean up my imports. Okay. Yeah. Looking okay. Is the tapping really goofed up on that? Let me. This is game over screen. looks fine. Is it? Oh, it's a mixture of. Tabs versus spaces. There we go. Nice. Sometimes the GitHub client is a little weird, so you got to uncheck and check that again. Otherwise, it will like it won't correctly stage your stuff like you expect it to. Okay, nice and easy, good. Loading screen, nice. That looks fine. That looks fine. And the folks of you who are students, are you interested in programming in general? Are you interested in game development? I'm kind of curious how you found my channel. Again, sorry, this audit is kind of dry, just making sure I haven't goofed up anything. It's just good to do. Yeah, so this is the very lightweight wrapper. So I really haven't changed the mechanism on how things work. I've just changed the interface. Let me go ahead and added string manager for localization text. Commit and sync. And then now I can figure out a better way to a more appropriate place for that to live. Because if you close all, if you notice, string manager.java. This still uses this game.looklikeStrings property, and really this probably ought to live on the string manager. Cool. And so the mod manager is in charge of loading localized strings. That's okay. I think all this does is it goes through, it has a return value, doesn't it? Yeah, this localized string. So this is in start. This actually, this might be duplicate. I think we also do so the Git mod manager actually is the place where we do it nowadays. Yeah, so if loc strings is null, load loc strings. Okay. Cool, interesting. Use the Twitch tags. Yeah, so I throw what game dev, pixel art, and programming. So I've done a lot of game dev and done a lot of programming. We'll get into pixel art here in a little bit. I'm streaming today from 11 to 2 o'clock my time. So I guess I'm roughly halfway through. So let me just get this little small refactor done, and then we'll switch over to some art and just kind of hang out and chill and do art. Hey, Hawaii Beach. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so the mod manager. Hmm. Trying to think. Somewhere, maybe somewhere we loaded up all load managers. But this is part of game. We don't want it to be part of game. We want it to be just something that happens when we launch um, launch Delver. I think what I'm doing is something along the lines of where is it? I think it's mod manager. Get mod. No. There's a property that we use. I don't want regexes. I just want. There we go. So get mod manager. And then where do we use this? Find usages. So for the time being, I can just replace um, this. So this can just be this dot look strings, string manager dot look strings because it's a static variable. And then in here, I can say if string manager dot look strings is null, string manager dot look strings equals mod manager dot look strings. Okay. Now let me put a breakpoint and then look at the call stack and see what this where this actually gets initially called. Okay, so this game manager. So we have an application which launches the manager, and then the game. I think this is just a hack that I used to load in. So I could do something just here. Game manager that says I can just init or load the strings here. So let me try that. So string. I think I added that line. It's kind of a way to get things going. String manager dot say load or init. Okay. Then here public static init is a parameterless method. Public static, say void, because we don't want a return type. And then I need to go to the game manager. This is going to the game mod manager. The mod manager, yeah, get mod. It's in game, so game. Yeah, this block here is what I want. So this should really So game.getModManager. Load localized strings. So what this should do is, if you call init, we need to check to see if our look strings are null. If they are, go ahead and attempt to load them. Go ahead and grab a copy of the mod manager. This will instantiate one if we don't have it, and then call load strings. So I can pull this hacky code out of get mod manager, because we don't want to do that every time we grab get mod manager. And then on game manager, we don't need to just artificially get the mod manager. We can just say string manager.init. Okay, let's give it a run. See what's going on. Cool. It works. All right. Cool. I'll just play a little bit of Delver here, maybe as testing, and also let folks see what it's all about. Because I am like an hour and 40 into my stream, so we'll get these changes committed, and then we will start some art. Ooh, another teleport trap. So I am somewhere new now. A little bedroom, some junk. A little dining room. Lots more junk. A little storage room. Ooh, with a balanced iron dagger, but it does the same amount of damage. Having a backup weapon, probably not a bad idea. In this current build, the durability has been pushed up from 15 to 25. So items should last quite a bit longer before they begin to dull. I also intend to change this on an item-by-item basis as well, because right now everything has the same durability, which again, the system came in late last update, so there are still tweaks to be made. Yeah, we are certainly listening to you folks and trying to implement feedback where we think appropriate. Ooh, whoa! A +9 attack skull cap. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, I should be set for a while now. Woo! All right. Where am I going? I don't know. Gotta get some ale. Excellent iron dagger, and let's. Okay, he hopped down. There we go. Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. Well. Oh well. Them's the breaks. Cool. All right, so things seem to be working okay. Yep, so here, let me go ahead and just remove that commented.code because it's just, if we don't actually need it in there, let's just get rid of it. Okay, cool. So cleaning up the game Java, or the game class a little bit because we don't actually need the look strings to live there anymore. Also, we probably should remove the property off the object as well. Let me go take a peek at that. Localized. Yeah, so we don't need this property anymore, or data member, or whatever you call it. So let's clean that up, and then go up here. Localized. Okay, so that was a hash map. Don't need the hash map import anymore. We can clean that up. Let's see what else. So cleaning up the game class. Yep, so just initting the string manager right when we launch the game manager. So that's cool. It's kind of like an app manager, really. And then this is a string manager class. It's super lightweight. All it does is it loads the localized strings through the mod manager. And then when you ask for a string by its key, it will give you back the string you expect. Thank you, Chocobunny. Chocobunny is complimenting us on the end screen. I like tweak it. I'd like to tweak it a little bit, but yeah, no, it's we have nice little scenes for um, like like the splash and the game over screen and the you win screen each have little scenes that we show. So let's see, localized strings now live in the string manager because that's where they should live. It's sync. Oh. Yeah, Hawaii Beach. Yeah, I cleaned up the imports on the stuff that I added. I don't feel right now that it's appropriate just to go and do a wholesale cleanup of the imports. Maybe we ought to, but that's kind of outside the scope of my changes. Just trying. I'm doing my best to try to keep this only localization support. All right, let's talk about mod stuff because part of what the update we're currently working on, I believe should be update 14, is we're scheduling it. At least I've estimated that we should be done in March-ish, and we'll see if that actually lands. But hopefully it will. And we are working on improving mod support. We're adding Steam Workshop integration. So if you notice when I was playing Delver, it pops up in Delver saying, "Hey, you're connected to Steam," which is cool. Um, if you've noticed, we do have an achievement floating out there. It's just a test thing. Um, what else? Yeah, so the workshop support is huge. That's what my loc changes are, is we will allow people to create mods that translate the game, which I'm really excited about. And also, I'm building out a repo of um, example mod content so folks know how to do it. So that's what that's about. If you're not familiar how to make or how to do mods in their current state, you browse to wherever your Delver binary lives, and you make a new folder called mods. And then in here, you can just place the directory of a mod. So for example, this is my example dungeon floor. This is spiraling out of control a little bit. So what I'm going to do today is I'll show you what I'm working on. Um, Actually, let's not do it this way. Let's do it the other way. Let's go to Delve Edits. Run that sucker. Okay. Oop. I need to edit this configuration as well. Change my working directory. Okay, let's run it. Let's stop, process, and run. What are you complaining about? String manager, interesting. Oh, interesting. Game.id from JSON. It is, huh. Let me debug and see what it's doing. My suspicion is that it requires the mod manager to be there, and it's not. Because it looks like I pushed this, the game manager is what inits what calls this. And I don't know if Delve Edit actually goes down that code path. So Delve Edit might need to do something different. Yeah, whatever the editor. It might need to fire up this somewhere else. Let me a starter. There we go. Ba, ba, ba. I could probably just init, really. Init returns false? Weird. So what is find usage? No, this is the Steam Editor API. New editor is what I want. Okay, then editor frame. I probably can just call it from here somewhere. If that's the issue, let me just debug my string manager and see what's happening. My guess is this is null. So this is, we are loading what? Our texture atlas, okay. Continue, 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 continue. And then we are looking at entities item, item condition broken. Okay, this is a string and loop string. Actually, it might not be such a bad idea right here that if string manager dot string manager dot localized strings is null. We just put this check here. And then we don't even need the init, right? That should just work in most cases. Yeah, that's probably a better solution too. Nice. Cool, yeah, and this is our upload mod to workshop. So right now we have a very basic interface for allowing you to choose a mod to submit to the workshop. This will improve over time, but we do have the capability right now to use DelvEdit to submit mod content. Again, if people have thoughts on this, please let me know. But what I'm working on is mods, example dungeon floor, and levels, and test level. Why did it not load? Weird. This is most certainly not my test level. Let me, because I'm pretty sure. Copy here. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's doing here. This is strange. Let me pop over to the develop branch and see if there's something that's different about that there. So let's just flip over to develop. Oh, so a couple things. Real quick, is there an easy way? Yeah, I can just go to mods and I can delete the mods directory. Yeah. And then over here, I could say okay, sync that. Cool, and let's flip over to develop. And cool. All right, so Actually, real quick, I need to. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so let me just grab a quick bite. I will try to keep it to say 5 minutes. I can probably get lunch down in 5 minutes. All right, go. Okay, well, it looks like I ran over my estimated time for lunch. Yeah, when you give yourself 4 minutes for lunch and 2 minutes of that is heating it up, not a lot of time. It seems pretty dark in here. Maybe it's just a contrast. Okay. Okay, so I switched over to develop, and we're going to look at some mod content. Let's see if um, the editor is behaving better over on develop. I have a suspicion it has something to do with the working directory. I'm not sure. Okay, so I deleted my mods directory. I think Chad fixed that. So let me change my configuration. Let me set it back to the root. Let me create a mods directory. Let me copy over the dungeon floor. Let me launch the editor. Mods. Mode. There we go. So this is what I've been working on. For those of you who've seen it, it's kind of this sci-fi themed dungeon floor. And I guess the whole point of this one is to kind of exercise everything you could possibly do with a dungeon floor, um, which is kind of big, to be honest. So what I want to do real quick is just to make a basic version of this. So let's do this. Let me delete this. And I think this is what I want. Copy. Cool. And then there we go. So what this is this is just a this is just like a template for how levels need to be built out. So what I want to do is just quickly make that work and then commit it to the GitHub repo so folks can use that. And this will also let me talk about um, the new way of creating dungeon levels so they can be merged, because this is actually brand new. We've been working on it. So the thought is people could create custom dungeon levels and you could mash them all together and you can make Delver as long and weird as you want. So let's call this advanced, and then new folder example dungeon floor basic. And then let me just pop this open in VS Code. So advanced and basic. So what we need is we need a generator folder. Okay, and we can pop that open. Sorry, reveal and explore. And then what I want to do is copy these basic tiles into here. Cool. So now if I launch Delvedit, we can take a look at those, and they should be pretty boring, but they should be functional. They should be the bare minimum you need to create a dungeon level. So file open. Of course, I need to copy that over. So, okay, that's done with that. Done with that. Mods for basic, copy here. And then let's launch our editor. Mods for basic generator, beginnings, load. And there we go. This is the, the bare bones beginning. And again, if you file open, And you look at intersections. There's one intersection. It is the very minimum you need for an intersection. So you can use this as a starting point. Um, like this one is pretty self-explanatory, but for example, like the try-intersection is tricky because it's three specific sides. So the engine expects that it's these three sides that connect. And this side is solid if you want it to be, but these have to be open, otherwise your level will not be traversable. Cool. Um, so what I'm really excited about is the new way of doing dungeon levels is the old way of like creating a theme and creating rooms for the theme and then creating the info. That's all the same, but smashing or adding that to the dungeons.dat file, gone. Dungeons.dat does not exist. What we need to make this work is we need a section .dat, and this just defines this section of the dungeon. So a section of the dungeon could be like the dungeon or the caves. It's an area of similar levels. Is considered a section. So um, let's look at our assets. Let's look at data. Or sorry, not that. Generator, dungeon, section.dat. Let's just copy this and take a look. Okay. So in here, we need a new file. It needs to be called section.dat. We look specifically for that, and we paste it in. Cool. So what this says is difficulty level. This just, I think it determines like spawn rates of stuff. The sort order determines where it lands in the actual dungeon. Hey, Ned Bolter, thanks for stopping by. So for example, the dungeon, this is the first section of the game. The first 2 floors of the game are the dungeon area. But with the new system, you can make it the first 20 floors. Or if you wanted to, you could make this, the 4th one. So we sort by that and we smash them together. So um, it's really more, it's way more flexible, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, sort order is where it falls in the ordering of the levels. Name is pretty explanatory. We'll call this template. And we want this at the top, so that's cool. Floors, doesn't matter, 2, 1. It's just an example, right? What really excites me are these level templates. What this is the theme. The theme is what is interesting because the theme is defined in the info.dat. Wait, where's the theme? Where the theme defined in, I think it's just the structure of the, so generator cold, it says cold, so I think it needs to be a subdirectory here. Generator example, yeah. So we need to create a subdirectory here, new folder called template. And then let me go to here, we will explore. And then all of these need to live in template. Okay. There we go. So that is effectively the theme. So in our section.dat, the theme needs to be template. And what's cool is you can define multiple templates, which is really exciting. So if you wanted to do variations, like you could make this, 4 floors, and you could add in a second template. And you say the theme is undead. So it would choose between this template theme and the undead theme for the first 4 floors, which is really cool. We could do things like have dark areas, or we could have like alternative skins for different areas. So I'm really excited by that, which is pretty cool. So let me just look at these properties, the level properties. So 1 floor, templates, level, darkness. These are all the stock stuff. That's good. Generated true. Let me turn the room generator chance to 0 because we just want to look at the actual template rooms. And let's get rid of the traps. No traps because these are they're not designed really great, so it's better just to have them really easily traversable. So we have these level templates. So for how many ever floors we define, we randomly pick from these templates to create levels. And then once you go through all those, we have a transition out level, which is really cool. So this lets you specify after you go through these number of floors for this section, what's the transition level. So the transition levels are like the merchant level or the cold level. So it really makes it easy to hook these up, which is cool. I'm very excited about this. And I think this is an optional property too. I think, for example, the sewers don't have one. So if we look at the sewer section, there is no transition out level. So for our little test here, I can delete the transition level. Save. Okay, and actually this might be it. Once we define this section.dat and put that into our mod directory, that should be what we need. So let me go back out here and delete floor basic. And then let me just copy that back in. Actually, let me launch Delver, and then let's see how this picks it up. Hawaii Beach says, why is Linux removed as a supported system? I don't know. I thought we were supported Linux. That would be a Chad question. He's the one that handles cutting the builds and pushing them out to different, to Steam and to Humble and stuff like that. So dungeon. So it didn't merge. That's not good. Let me see. Floors 1, template, level 1. Interesting. Let me take a look and see if I can figure out what it's doing. For this level templates property, and that should get me closer to where I need to be. I want it in source code, build levels. Okay, this is in section definition. Interesting. Looks. I've never. Okay, let's just step through this because I think this is what. This is probably where we want to look at. So this is. That's camp. Yep. Picked up. File name. So let's just add a watch on that. New watch picked up level name. Okay. Continue. This is dungeon. Continue. Dungeon. Continue. Continue. Cave. This is build level layout. sections found, comparator. Okay, this is probably what I need to be looking at then. Let me stop and debug this part. So section definition, this is cave section. D is definition. Let's change this to d.name. So cave. Cool. This is dungeon. Sewer. Camp. Ruins. So it looks like I didn't actually find my mod content. Interesting. Sure, should have found. I copied it over as a generator template. I mean, that should be. Does it expect it to live at a higher level? Is that what is that? Nope, I didn't debug. Okay. Restraint folder monsters. There's only the two there. Generator folder is current /generator/cave. So mods found doesn't seem to be finding my mod. Let me take a look at that. Is it case sensitive? F7. F8. Does H not exist? looks. So let me try that. That might be a bug. So assets mods. Is my my working directory is messed up. Dang it. I thought I fixed that. Okay. Let's see if that straightened things out. So let me just stop. Mods found. There we go. So it was just a again working directory thing. I guess there were some changes that went in yesterday that kind of broke me. So this was my workaround, and I'm just reverting my workaround. Okay, so continue. There we go. Could probably remove these. Wait. Gotcha. So it went Dungeon 1, Dungeon 2. It did the transition to the shop area, and now we are in our template level, which is cool. This is just a very, very basic area. As you can see, it is not super interesting. But it should have everything you need to make a dungeon level. And you should be able just to, when the new update comes out, be able to drop it in a mods directory and it will just work, which is cool. I think the thing I need to fix, this is an old file, and I need to go in and I need to clean up the endings, I believe, because I think I'm using the incorrect marker for the stairs down. Yeah, so that's why you get, if you see multiple stairs down, it's because the incorrect marker has been used for that area. So let me just pop open the editor and fix that. So mods, basic, generator, template, I think it's ends. Load. Yes. I went ahead and I removed the, so if you right click and you go place marker, there's I think a stair down, and there is a marker exit location. If you see the question mark, you used the wrong one. I think there may have been, I think the exit location or the stair down may have been something that we've used in the past, but we don't use it anymore. So remove marker, and this should just be, I think, exit location and not stair down. There we go. So file, save, cool. And let me think. I think this is an okay spot. So let me look at my example mods. Let me cut this and paste it. Okay, and then let me look at my changes. It really is just a super basic. These really should be .bins and not .dats. Yeah, let me go ahead and just resave all those because I think I want to have the best practices out there for folks. So let me just go ahead and just resave all these. You can, the editor supports loading and saving both formats. So So sometimes file save as 1.bin, file open. And now I can go to corners, open that, load. File open, nope. File save as, this needs to be 1.bin. Ends. Hopefully you don't ever have to do this. File save as. Ends. And also a new change too is in the, if you look at the generator folder in your theme, we have beginnings and starts, and it was always kind of unclear as to what that meant. So now what it is when you define a section, the first room of that section the players enters is pulled out of beginnings, and then if you have multiple floors beyond that, they're pulled out of starts. So if you want to have something special for the start of your section, put it in beginnings. So halls, load, file, save as, halls, file, open, intersections, load, file, save as, and the name really isn't terribly important. And I say terribly because if you add a dash unique to the end of a level name, that does make it special. Otherwise, the names don't matter. Save as. And if you add the dash unique, so if I were to do one dash unique.bin, that means it's a unique room and it will only ever get used once. Intersection, try intersections, load, file, save as, 1.bin, file, open. I think that's it. I think that's all of it. Okay, so let me take a look at here and just go through. Yikes. Okay, so I did it in the other place. So let me. I did it. Yeah. Okay. Whew. So let me go back to generator. Generator. Let me copy this out. Yep. Beginnings. Just delete all the dat files. And the .dats are the old way of doing things, but they still work. And sometimes if you need to, like, sometimes you can hand edit the level if you need to find specific entities, so you can save it as a .dat. That's not the greatest way to do it, but it is possible to do it that way. Okay, so section.dat is okay. Okay, so let me make sure this actually works. So let me go back to mods directory. Let me delete that. Let me copy in this. And let's make sure it works. Delver, run. Hey, Chad. Welcome back. I am just about to. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm just testing out the new section stuff, which I'm pretty excited about. And I think I got it working. My working directory was goofed up, so I fixed that, and it seems to be working as expected, which is pretty cool. So again, if I pop down, I get Dungeon 1, Dungeon 2. I get the transition out of the dungeon area, and then I get our template area, which is pretty cool. And The template itself is boring, but it should be the very basic of what you need. And let me just verify that I fixed the end room. There's one end. Let me give myself some scrolls of teleport just for fun. What? Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Cool. And then what happens is because the other room was chosen as an exit. Cool. Thanks for stopping by, Hawaii Beach. So if it's not chosen as an exit, it will be marked and loot will spawn there. So that's cool. I think this should be good. Again, to kind of recap, let's look at the structure of this. So this is just a example dungeon floor basic. Inside that, it just has a generator. Inside the generator is the template folder. This is the theme. This is the name of the theme. So here, if you look inside of template.section.dat, this theme needs to agree with that folder there underneath generator. So yeah, so this is the new way of doing things. You specify a difficulty level, where it should fall. So this will sort order 1 means it comes after the dungeon area in Delver, like we saw just a few moments ago. This is the floor count. This can be as high or small as you want. And then this is the level template. So this is the theme to use when generating the level. So it happens to use this template one, but it could be anything. I could say, make this, dungeon. For this section, it would use the dungeon theme anyways. So that's cool. I think that all should be good. Again, I just want to have the most basic of the most basic example out there. Let me clean this up a little. I think I can just get away with just a single door mesh. And maybe 1 gen info, so maybe grass. Decorative grass is my favorite little gen info. And then let's, I think that's correct. No. Let me see. So VS Code does code folding, so I should be able to collapse that. Yeah. Okay, so it should be everything all the way to the bitter end here. Let me think. Let me try running this and make sure it still works. So delete that. Yeah, no, Chad is excited. I am so pumped. Again, this will let folks extend Delver as much as they like, so they can add as many levels as they like. And they also lets us do cool things like being able to reskin existing areas. So I think it'd be cool to have like whenever you play the dungeon, maybe there's like a 1 in 10 chance it's rethemed to something else, which could be really cool. Or you could do Spelunky style things where you have like an undead theme for certain areas. This new way of doing things affords us to do that. And like with all these new features we add, there's always the temptation to go crazy and to really draw things out. I want to make use of the feature, but I don't want to keep pushing back the release date on this sucker. Okay, so down, 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 down. Template 1. And it looks like got the door. We've got the one gen info. Yeah, so again, trying to make this the most basic example so folks like you know Baby's First Delver area or Delver section. I guess is the new name. I need to get used to it. Section. Quit. Okay. What else? Let me look at this. Let me clean this up a little bit. I think eventually we need to start actually having Delver emit standard JSON and not this GDX specific minified JSON thing. I think that would make folks' lives better. Here, let me just do this. Let me copy all this. Let me go over to Sublime Text. Let me view layout single. Do a new one. Do Control V. Let me select all the commas. Alt F3, and then just put a return character after them all. Let me select all the colons. I think that's right. So anything to the left of a colon should be a property. So let's string quote that because that's standard JSON. Anything that starts with com.interrupt, com.interrupt also needs to be a string. So let's string quote that. Also, yeah, let's real quick, let's grab all the braces, put a return character after them. Let me just take a quick gander of what we got. This looks okay. The whole point of doing all this is to just be able to go select all, Control C, and then I can just pull up a browser window, go to JSON beautifier, find one, paste, process, and then boop, it just spits out nicely formatted JSON. If I forget a comma or if I mess with my JSON some other way, it will let me know. So let me just paste, go here, Control A, paste that in, save. Cool. Let me just run it just to show you that it does run. Oh no, it looks like I accidentally, okay, there we go. Cool. Let's erase and play. Down, down, down. And it still loads, so I think that's, again, I'm gonna push towards having just more standardized JSON in the future wherever I can. So that is that, section.dat. Same thing here. Paste. Again, find all of the, actually, let me real quick, let's just find all the braces. Just return character after them. Let's find all the commas. A return character after them. Let's find all the colons. And then let's string escape all those properties. We find anything that starts with com.interrupt. And let's string escape that. And select all, copy, go back out to our JSON beautifier. Paste and process. I goofed something up. The string should be wrapped in double quotes. Invalid characters found. Oh, yep, dungeon rooms ought to be quoted. What else? Invalid characters found. If I hit process, does it still get, why is it complaining about that? I don't know because it has new lines because there's commas in there because I goofed that up myself. So there should not be a new line. And similarly, there's another music. There's music and action music. Yep, same thing here. So clean that up, process. All right, success. So now we can go to our project and paste that in, save. That should be that. Let me just again run it because I'm paranoid, but should be good. Drop down. Sweet. And this is our template area. Nice. Way to go. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's look at this. Let's check all these. Let's uncheck, check. Adding basic. Actually, let me real quick before I do anything. Let's uncheck all of that and let's use the correct verbiage too. So this should be example dungeon section. There we go. Adding basic example dungeon section. Let's commit and sync. Cool. So if you folks are interested, I just pushed that live out to my GitHub. So if you go to github.com/Joshua Skelly/Delver-example-mods, I'll paste it in chat. You can clone this repo. You can look at this repo as the best practices of how to do stuff, and you can also use it as a starting point for your mods. So right now we have a character story pack, which is basically just an example of how to define items. And I probably really ought to clean that up too. Let me just do that real quick. So this shows you how to create custom items for your mod. I'm also kind of pitching the idea of a character pack, which is kind of like how Dark Souls does story, where it's just items that belong to a character is kind of what I'm proposing with that. So it's not a playable character, but it is their gear you can find. So potentially, I guess you could play as that character, but like in a more of a story-driven way. Let me look for control, find replace, and find double quote, replace with single quote. Replace, 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 replace. Find, that it? Okay, cool. Let me find this. And cool. Let's escape that, or string quote that. I think that should be everything. Let me, again, copy everything, go back out to our little handy JSON beautifier, and process. Oh man, all kinds of stuff goofed up. Let me, okay. Let me, okay, so I need item type. So let's select all those. And then let's string quote those. And it looks like it doesn't like trailing commas. So let me go through and just clean up these trailing commas. I think it's mostly on the enchantments there. Okay, let's see what the JSON beautifier says this time. me see. Invalid comma, expecting. Yep. So I still missed one. Oh yeah, right. The. Where is that? So if I get rid of that one, okay, so you want, I guess I missed one, yeah, this last one right here. Cool, so now that one should be nice and JSON-y, and again, if you flip this over to like um, JSON, like your little IDEs now should really not complain so much, and they should be helpful. Is that right? It seems like it's putting some extra spaces in there where I don't expect it to. Maybe it's just the fact that it's save that. And again, if you haven't seen this one, let me throw it in Delver. Make sure my changes are good, but also kind of show off that stuff. So mods, and then we have this example character story pack. We can copy that over there, and we could launch Delver and look at the character stuff. Okay, so now I can spawn, for example, Melee. I think it's in Group 1. And then I have the Yuan, like the old Academy Sword of Hedgewood and the Yuan Staff of Hedgewood. So there it is. And it's this kind of old rusty iron sword. Let me see. It is 6 to 10 damage and adds to your magic. So that's cool. And again, you know, like I think this character also has armor associated with them. Like there is wizard robe. So there's a accompanying armor, so you can kind of dress yourself up like this character. I think I added like a floppy hat too. I think armor 1. I might change how I'm doing the enchantment stuff. Right now, I created a item modification that's +3 magic called of Hedgewood, and that just gets slapped on everything. Yeah, that's probably not the best way to do that, but it was a way to do it. Yeah, and so that's this fella. It should give you a good starting point on how to make custom items, and it's pretty easy to follow. Let me go ahead and just commit those changes. I just standardizing JSON. So commit and sync. And that should be out on the GitHub now too. So if you're interested, you can visit that, and it should have goodies for you to start making Delver mods. So it has you can use the basic dungeon. What do I call it? Example dungeon section basic. So you can use that as a starting point for making new dungeon areas. So Tesla Coil says, any plans to add any similar lore type items to the base game? So Chad has been working on a unique system, and for the final release of Delver, I would like to do a content bump, which is just a lot of work on my end, just creating lots of stuff for the game, and I would love to add a nice wide variety of unique items. I think already, if you play, well, I think in Delver we have a thing called a Lucky Dagger. If I play, so if I hit K and I spawn uniques, all we have right now is a Lucky Dagger. And what's interesting is, Chad can correct me if he's still watching, but these, I think you only ever get one on any given run. And also, how good it is scales based upon, I think, either your level or the dungeon level, which is interesting. It's an interesting choice, I think. So let me real quick, if I level up a couple times. And that shouldn't change this, but if I spawn in a new one, does it do the same damage? No. So, um, it's interesting that they scale based upon your character level. The thinking there is that when you find it, a unique is going to always be useful to you when you find it. So um, again, and Chad was the guy who designed and implemented the system. So I think I'm trying to explain it as I understand it, but he can correct me. If you have questions, ask him in chat. But yeah, so the one I found as a first level is 1 to 6, and the one I found as a level 4 is 4 to 12, which is, or level, what level? I'm level 4, yeah. So it's cool with the scales. And I would like to do quite a few unique items and the content bump for the final release just to give you folks interesting stuff to occasionally find. Yeah, I think that would add some nice replayability and longevity if we had interesting uniques. Oh man, so I said I was going to do some work on this other. So let me put the Dungeon Floor Advanced back. Let me copy it here. I said I was going to do some more work on that, and I only have like 8 minutes left. I'm sorry, folks. If you have any questions about the project, about game development, art, whatever, feel free to ask. Um, Mods. It's cool seeing that many mods. Advanced levels, test, load. So yeah, I've been just playing around with this in my off-stream time. Just playing with new textures, trying to make it look as beautiful as I can. So now that we have a simpler way to add in floors, let me just look at, I think I started a new beginning area. Floor advanced, example, beginnings. I think I was playing around with this one. Yeah. Yeah, so I've changed some of the tiles since I started working on it, so it probably looks a little goofy, but that's okay. Um, yeah, that's okay. Pretty dark too. Um, yeah, if you look at the other one, let me look up the other one here. Nope, up levels test. Like this one, like basically I created a nice little tile set for at least for over this stripe for the caution area. So you have like these nice corners. You have a nice straight area. I added this alternate floor slash ceiling texture. There's two of them. I want them to be a darker color so they contrast nicely with the walls. The walls are kind of bright, so I wanted to have a dark contrast color for either the floor or the ceiling or both. I tweaked the grate texture a little bit. I added these light textures, which I think are pretty cool. I think Chris suggested I have an off version as well as an on version, so that's what we're looking at there, which I think is really cool. It's also, I could use that to illustrate how like the dungeon painter works, which would be cool. And also with the gen infos, we can have the on lights generate light sources and the off lights not, which would be cool. Also, I think with the prefab system already, I have some of these lights when they spawn in are off. I think there's a 25% chance that they'll be off, which is cool. You can, again, that's one of the strengths of the Delver engine is being able to have all these little variables you can kind of tweak to add variety to your areas. Yeah, I think that's kind of the big stuff we've been working on this since you folks have maybe last seen it. Um, again, it's burning up a lot of my time, but I guess on the plus side, it is kind of what helped drive the change to how dungeon sections are defined, which I think is really, really exciting. Let me go ahead and just take a peek at how I defined the dungeon section for this advanced. Um, so let me, can I rename this? Yeah, rename. This is dungeon section, because a section may cover multiple floors. So a generator. So in this generator, I need to create a section.dat. So let me go to the basic example. And it's generator section.dat. Let me just select everything, copy, and then go to the advanced um, example, new file, section.dat, and paste and save. I can flip on. This is JSON. Auto detect? Yeah, I can't figure it out because of the file name, I guess. JSON, cool. And so the theme needs to be the example, because that's the directory it pulls from. We can call this whatever. Sci-fi example. Oh, Windows key. And I think that should be good. I think actually I can probably now just, again, I can copy this over into my mod directory. Then this old one I can delete. And it should pull in the new area. So I can launch this and just kind of flip through the new areas. Okay, so erase, play. So level down. So the, ooh, wow, this actually, this, interesting, we go right to this. I wasn't expecting that. And then level down, dungeon 2. Okay, what just happened? Did I goof something? Does this have a dungeons.dat in it? It does. Let me delete that. That might be what's goofing us up. I'm not sure, Chad, did we keep in the dungeons.dat for legacy reasons? If that's what was happening? But you shouldn't need a dungeons.dat anymore. It should just be dynamically, yeah, there we go. Dungeon 1, Dungeon 2, transition out of the dungeon section into template 1, and then sci-fi example 1. There we go. So that is more what I expected. Sweet. And then this just, of course, this just goes back into the template because I've only created just this one starting room. Cool. Yep, and Chad is confirming that if you have a dungeons.dat, what this will do is it will disable this new way of splicing together dungeon levels. And you might want to do this if you are trying to do a total conversion and you want a very specific like ordering of dungeons and you don't want other folks to inject their stuff into yours. You can do it that way. But I think the more interesting and the more fun way is just to define a section with a new system, and that way you can just keep adding more and more craziness into your Delver levels, which I'm really excited about. Yeah. Okay, let me think. It's just about time. I have to go pick up my son from daycare here in just a little bit. Let me recap. So we got some localization work done. We went through and replaced hard-coded strings in a few classes, which is cool. We refactored how the loc stuff works. So instead of being this static property living off the game object, now it's its own string manager, and it knows how to load itself or load content for itself, and that's good and it's working. And then we kind of went through and previewed how this new section work is going, or the new section definition for dungeon areas works, and I'm super excited about that. Let me think. Administrative. I think for the past, I don't know, 3 Wednesdays or so, I've been doing a bonus stream, and I think I'm I think I'm ready to call Wednesday and also an additional regular stream day. So if you notice in the info down below on my Twitch stream, and also probably on the YouTube, I'll probably update that in the little blurb I paste underneath my YouTube videos. I think I'll also have I'll plan on doing Wednesday at noon, but I'll probably more likely do it earlier. But so far the daycare's been working out well for my son. So yeah, so it looks like Wednesday and Sunday will be my regular stream days. So I'm trying to push in another dev stream day in, which I'm excited about, and hopefully you folks find interesting and helpful. As always, I'm open to suggestions, either about the project or about my streaming. You can always contact me directly at joshua.skelton@gmail.com. I try to reply within a reasonable amount of time. But also emails do get lost. That's my personal email, so I get lots of junk gets thrown in there. I want to thank everybody who has purchased the game. That directly supports Chad and myself. Also, thank you for watching my stream. It's always cool to have an extra pair or a dozen of eyes on my work. And I will see you folks, I guess, Sunday. So have a good rest of your week.